What's going on, guys? My name's Tom, and welcome to podcast number 11. In this episode, we're talking Halo 3 PC with Legitsky, Slim Haley, and of course, Stephenrg95. As always, their links are down below, so make sure you check them out. And yeah, enjoy. So, what was your guys' first impression of Halo 3 PC?
My initial impression was, why is this thing coming out tonight? What the heck? What's Postum's talking about on Twitter? I'm not really pissed about that. Like, that's not a problem for me, but my first impression was, why is it out? What's going on? Is there something going on? So I was pleasantly surprised for me just getting on the game and playing it again and being able to experience it in higher frames, centered reticle, better shot registration, the smoothness of the aiming. Overall, man, I had to say just gameplay-wise, I was impressed. I actually really enjoyed MCC Halo 3 PC just overall for the gameplay quality. It just felt like a vast improvement over console. It was very noticeable. So from that perspective, initially, I was pretty excited.
I thought the Halo 3 PC launch was pretty successful for the most part, as well as the early release that caught me off guard. I was hoping like what we saw on consoles, what we would see on PC, like with the playlist with dubs, Slayer, and hardcore, which is what we got. Surprised that there was no crazy game-breaking bugs like Halo 2, and it was a pretty fun game. I like the update to the shot registration, the new the BR sound being closer to OG. It feels like a amazing game. Flame kind of died away, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like, during the beta, I thought that it was pretty good, and then when they updated the sounds, I thought that was pretty amazing as well. I mean, again, I've missed that sound for quite some time. They still haven't, fixed Halo 2 sound, but that's a different topic. The game is pretty good, though, man. I mean, unlike Halo Reach and Halo 1, I think Halo 3 plays very well on uncapped FPS with no VSync. Reach had that little issue with, like, objects stuttering, like, on unlimited FPS. You had to sort of play it in 60, which was not great or optimal for people with like high refresh rate monitors. But yeah, I mean, the launch was pretty good. They fixed a couple things on the beta. Like on the beta, you would throw like grenades would disappear. There was an issue
Equipment as well.
Yeah, with the equipment as well. So they definitely fixed that. I mean, the game feels pretty good. High FPS, even at 60, it feels pretty solid.
Yeah, I think pound for pound, man, this is the best port that they've done so far on the MCC, just quality-wise. I think, with Reach launching with, like you said, with the frame rate issue, and then not having Theater or Forge, and then CE kind of having the, blank shot registration issue. Halo 2 obviously being pretty much unplayable at launch.
Yeah.
I think the bar was not set very high, if I'm honest with you. I have to say, pound for pound, this is the best launch. And this is the best port. It's good. It's properly, like, gameplay wise, I say it's pretty good. So
now clearly the launch was pretty solid, but it hasn't really been entirely bug free. So in the opinion of you guys and me, what's some of the main issues with H3 PC?
I would say mainly, obviously, the ranking system, mainly a big issue, I would think, but some small bugs like obviously weapon timing and the default setting. Even MLG, you can't dirty weapons anymore, which takes away from the skill gap. A lot of competitive players use that a lot every game. Obviously the challenge is popping up, like no one wants to see that.
Yep, text chat invites.
Text chat, game chat doesn't work a lot of the time.
There was the relay issue at launch, where relays prevented you from finding games, which was patched quickly. I'll give them credit there. I'll give you guys credit. 343, you guys patched it quick, but that was still an oversight that still stopped people from finding games, that still got people off the game. So that was another thing. But
the spawns have always been fucked up on PC, on not PC but Halo 3. The inability to turn off the text chat is very frustrating. It's a major problem in my personal opinion, because I don't really care what you have to say to me mid-game. I know it sounds kind of egotistical, and I love, playing different people and, people who know who I am, but I don't really care about someone complaining in text chat about a controller or aim assist or this game sucks. Like, I don't value your opinion. I just want to play the game. And in my opinion, it's just an annoyance. And plus, there's no filter on it. So someone, if you're like a content creator, a streamer, someone could say the N-word, someone could say different things to sort of throw you off your game. They need an option to disable text chat. Yeah, I mean, outside of what Legitsky said, I mean, the relay issue was a pretty big deal the first day or two, but they did fix that. The one thing that they really haven't addressed yet that's affecting ranked playlists is the slow ranking up. Like, they reset ranks, and it still takes, I would assume, several hundred games to get the max rank, and there's a lot of people right now who are stuck. I think Legitsky and friends are I think like 32 in Team Slayer on PC, and they cannot find games. So that's a really big issue.
Dude, it just, I've been bitching, me and Steven specifically, and I know you have as well, Tom, but a lot of us, we have been complaining that this stupid ranking system does, and we're talking about ranked playlist ranking system, we're not talking about the EXP progression, just ranked as a whole. This system does not work for this game. It doesn't work anymore. This ranking system was intended for this game to launch in 2014 with a 6 or 7 figure population. It doesn't work. It takes way too long to rank up. It's way too discouraging for new players, and it puts players who grind, like, again, like right now, me, Slim, and Avoided. It puts us basically in this outfield where we can't match anyone for days at a time. You know, just let me give you an example. Like, we grinded the Slayer playlist when it dropped on Monday night. We played it Tuesday day. We played it Wednesday day. By the by evening time on Thursday, which was around 3 days after launch, we could not find a game. Since then, in that playlist, today it's Monday, so it's been about a week since the game launched. Pretty much 3 days of the week that this game has been out, we have been able to find only 4 games in Ranked Slayer. That's a problem, because we're only 32s. That is a major, major issue.
Yeah, I mean, and people could say, well, just search 2s, but I mean, the whole thing about, 2s right now is a really big mess because they're not balanced out yet. So, you could match a team full of people who either were 50s or are going to be 50s and get 2 guys who haven't played the game on your team. And so it creates this environment where it's fair to a certain degree, but it's not. Again, you want to play with your friends. The one thing that people could say is, well, remove party matching then, because party matching obviously is splitting people up. But the thing is, if you do that, you're going to have Legitsky, Avoided, Slim Haley, and Quaddy, or whoever they're playing with. They're just going to run trains. And I don't think they've lost yet in the playlist. You don't want to remove party matching. You don't want to obviously like loosen the level restrictions. The most logical thing to do is make it quicker to rank up, because the more you do that, they'll be able to get matches. It's going to bode well for 3s, 4s, even 2s. The grind from 30 to 50 is a long one. Again, 50s could match 30s in the current state of the game. You want basically the whole premise of making it quicker to rank up is to get people to that 30 range. The game's been out for less than a week. I think it came out on the 14th, and it's the 20th right now as of the recording. But I think that ranking, it needs to be faster. This is something that we've been talking about for several months, and even on console prior to PC, this was a big issue. So I think this is the 3rd or 4th time they've reset ranks. It's just not. It's not a good look, man. Avoided, he had 650s on the previous version of MCC before the reset, and if it takes 240 games to get a 50, or just about, that's 1,440 wins to get 650s. That's just not feasible. 1,440 consecutive wins, no losses. That is not doable. So for Avoided, he's a really good player. He might get 650s in maybe 1,700 games. It's just something that he's going to take losses, and it's a lot of Halo to play to get back to that rank. So the only logical thing that I could say is to make ranking up easier. I know it's not like it was intended in 2014. Do you remove party matching and then let teams of 4 run trains, and then you're going to kill the population that way? Let 50s match 1s like Invasion? I mean, you could do that, right? But it's not the whole premise of a ranking system is to match people around your skill, and with a similar party size. So
yeah, I just want to know what they changed, because prior to the update, they released a blog saying they're doing like a major overhaul to their ranking system.
Sure.
And during the flight, we thought they did a big change, because we noticed that ranking up like 1 through 20 was a lot faster. But I never went beyond that, so I couldn't say if it really stayed true all the way. But I guess it didn't, because once we got to like around 18 to 20, we noticed that it was just basically the same amount of games to rank up beyond that. But 1 through like 15 was like pretty fast. We were like, all right, I think they adjusted it finally. And they're saying they did some adjustments to their ranking system, so they reset everything. I just want to know what exactly did they do, and why didn't they tell us what they did?
It's at
I don't understand.
It's at the single numbers, because what were we saying? It went down from like 240, 230 to like 210 or something. Like, congrats, you chopped 20 games off.
Well, and that's the thing, is we don't know yet, because the only person who's going to be able to tell you is whoever's playing Invasion right now, who's in the higher 40s, and there are people who are in those rank ranges right now on console. Reason why, obviously, is because there's no rank matching, so they're able to just match pretty much anyone at any rank range. They're able to get games most consistently, so they're not limited by rank matching, but they know what the ranking system looks like. They know how fast they're ranking up. Everyone else, it's pretty much a mystery right now. You know, as we continue to play, we'll find out. Other people will find out, but with the way it's looking, again, this is the thing that pisses me off. It actually frustrates me, is that the ranking issues were addressed. 343 acknowledged them. They didn't fix it. They thought that, you know, speeding the ranking system up by literally 7-8% probably is what the math is, would be enough. It's nowhere near enough. They literally, for this ranking system to work, they had to cut the number of games to get a 50 in half, basically.
Yes.
They had to make it around 120 games.
So here, I'm looking right now at mtcstats.com. 2 people who are pretty high. You have Shivrin, who's a 40 in Reach Hardcore, and then that's on PC. And then you have Arthur is a god, who's a 46 in Reach Invasion on Xbox. Arthur's probably going to be the first 50 in Invasion. I think there's party matching in Invasion, but it's like teams of 3 could match anyone, but
it goes 1, 3, 4, 6.
So yeah, but again, 50s can match 1. So, you know, that's not really indicative of I'm not saying that he's bad at Invasion. I'm just saying that he'll be able to tell you how many games that you need to play. But we're assuming it's probably like close to 200, maybe a little bit more. You know, again, and Legitsky and friends, they haven't lost a single game in Slayer yet. So Lord knows how many games they've played. Those are some of the biggest issues right now with the game. So according to 343, stream sniping could be a somewhat bannable offense. Do you guys agree with that?
I would say no.
No, the hell no. I mean, hey, literally ban almost every single competitive player at that point, right? I mean, let's just be real. Look, I'm not going to speak for everyone, because I'm sure there are people who are going to watch this video who sit here and say, well, I've never done it, right? I'm not speaking for everyone.
Sure.
But a lot of competitive players in Radar Doubles, Radar Slayer, BTB, MLG, MLG 2v2, it doesning matter. A lot, I want to say a big majority of competitive players do it. It's because the game's dead. That's how you find games a lot of the times, is by match moding people on stream. And
it's like an unspoken rule when you stream and you have a team. It's like pretty much an unspoken rule. Like, you better get ready to get match moded.
Exactly.
If you basically, if you're streaming, if you are willingly streaming, not like on someone else's stream, if you have OBS open and you turn that stream on and you're playing 4s in a ranked playlist, be prepared to be matched. Otherwise, put a delay on or don't stream. Like, I know people don't want to hear that, you know, because again, we're in 2020. Everyone's got feelings. That's just what it was. That was the nature of the beast when I was coming up. Like, again, on Justin TV, on Twitch TV, in 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, that was just what happened. Like, people, if you streamed, it's part of streaming. Like, I mean, I get it. It's frustrating. And like, you know, the whole reason why we're talking about this is because there was an issue with Evader. Like, Nick Merckx and a few other really big streamers that came to play MCC, Evader intentionally matched them while he was streaming. And I guess people were, like, teabagging him. And Evader's getting a ton of shit, but people, they weren't calling anybody else out. There was other people doing that in the Halo 3 community, but no one was calling them out. But because Evader is who he is, you know, he's a partnered streamer, people were calling him out. I don't agree with matching someone and teabagging him and trying to assert your dominance on people who don't play the game. Because Evader, he's got a lot of hours into this game. To sit there and, like, dude, people are gonna get matched. Like, if you stream, that's just what happens. Like, if you play Fortnite or H1Z1 or different games, I mean, you're gonna be matched. I mean, if I willingly stream, I do so with the understanding that I will probably be matched by somebody, because that's just what it is. Whether I win or lose, whether I get teabagged or someone says that I suck, it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to sit there and cry about it. Like, if I don't want to get matched, I won't stream. Me personally, I'm not a fan of match moding. I'm not going to go out of my way to match people, especially people who I consider friends. Like, if we arrange games, that's different. But I don't like the whole match mode culture. I never really did. I'm not going to complain about it. Like, if people want to match me, that's their own prerogative. Like, I'm going to try my best. And if I lose, I lose. GG. People on Twitter are like, they're getting mad about it. And it's like, you know, over the years, I've seen people get mad about stream sniping. And like, I get it. It does suck. If 343 is going to ban people for that, like, what exactly is griefing? Because, like, the whole thing is like, okay, well, Evader was griefing because he matched them. I guess people were like holding the flag or holding the objective on Nick Merckx and friends. They're teabagging him. Okay, that's sort of, if you're holding the objective, you know, I could see how that's bannable. If you're going to ban someone just for matching someone, even if it's over and over again, right? Even if Evader matched him 20 times in a row, That's the nature of that's just the nature of the game. The game is dead. MCC has been dead for many years. So are you going to ban every single person who matches someone? Are you going to ban Legitsky and Avoideds and friends for matching fucking, me on stream and beating me? Because they did that. I got staked 2 games. Ban Legitsky then, right? It's such a soft fucking mentality that you can't just go around enforcing fucking bans for people being good at the game. Like, the thing is, Nick Mercs, okay, I get it. He's got 40k viewers. It's amazing. It's amazing for Halo, right? I'm sure hundreds, if not thousands of people went out and purchased Halo 3 MCC on PC for 10 USD. I could guarantee you there were some sales. And I get that 343, they want to protect their image. They want to protect Halo. There's got to be some definitive guidelines, and they have to enforce it on a linear basis. Don't just protect Nick Mercs and friends, protect everybody. If I stream, right, because I'm a content creator, right? I got a YouTube, I got a Twitch. If I'm streaming and people match me and then they come in my chat and talk shit, or they type, easy or something in the fucking game chat, then I want them banned. Don't just ban Evader or don't just ban people for doing something. I want that enforced on a linear basis. The problem that I have with it is like match moding or quote unquote stream sniping is part of the culture, at least in Halo.
No, I completely agree with you. Again, with the whole matching people and just statting on them, I can see how that's viewed as griefing. Hey, I've fucking done it. We've all done it. It's definitely unsportsmanlike. It's definitely not.
No, it is.
It's not the cleanest thing to do, but at the same time, it's like if you're streaming, it should be expected, and there are ways around it, and there are countermeasures to it. So
I guess surrender button.
I mean, look, I don't know, man. I can't speak for the guys who match moded Nick Mercs and them. I can't really say like what happened too much because I didn't watch it live. I just saw like post game stats and what happened, but I can see why people would get upset over it and say, hey, like, these guys are just trying to play the game, whatever. Like, they're bringing attention to Halo. A lot of these guys, man, they're going to hop on this game. They're going to play it for 1 night, 2 nights, never going to play it again. It's a short-lived nostalgia trip. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Halo 3 in 2020. People are just trying to hop back on and, put the rose-tinted glasses on for a few hours and then get off. For a lot of us hardcore fans, we're sitting here, we're playing the game consistently still, relatively consistently still. Things don't change for us. For a lot of these people, they're in, they're out. I ain't really concerned about the future of Halo, people match moding to kill the game. That's not that to me. I don't see that because, like I said, a lot of these people just they pop in and out. So what I would say is just be mindful of what you're doing on the game. Don't just sit there and stat on people just to be a dick. Like I said, I've done it, so I'll admit where I'm wrong, and I think in certain cases I shouldn't have done it, but you can't control what people do, man. You really can't do it. Slim's a streamer, he gets it.
Yeah, I also wanted to say people saying like, oh, they're turning away people from the game, or people are coming back to the game, but I mean, those people left Halo for a reason. They know Halo's hasn't been in good shape for some time now, so they shouldn't be thinking like, oh, they're turning people away because those people left years ago, because I'm sure just like a ton of people left after Halo 3 with Reach 4 and 5. They're not going to play Halo 3 and think, oh, I want to play Halo Infinite now. Maybe that's good. But no, I don't think that's the case. I just think it's just a nostalgia trip.
Yeah.
And I think it's just these big streamers, they just have too many white knights and they just want to protect their streamer. Stream sniping, it's never going to go away. I hate that term. I don't know. It's just something about matching people and seeing their reaction to you that people like to see, especially beating them.
The thing is, what is griefing? Like, I am all for banning people. Like, if you make a different account and you're sitting there betraying people every game, or you're matching someone and you're like wasting sniper, you're doing things to intentionally make someone really, really mad. That's okay, I get that. But you can't stop people from playing the game. If a Vader wants to play on a Smurf, he should be able to play on a Smurf. Like, if you want to stop smurfing, then make it how it used to be on 360. Make people pay for their accounts. Don't just have one gold account and then let people make unlimited Smurfs. Now on Steam, you probably don't even need a gold account. So
no, I don't think so.
So at this point, and it's so easy to just sign out and make a new account. You can do it right on the game. It takes 30 seconds, and all your settings are the same. Like, it's so effortless to just make a new account. You don't even got to change any settings. The bigger issue to me is that the way it seems like is you're protecting these big streamers, which, okay, I get it. It's money. You're protecting your bottom line. I'm not going to defend Vader for what he did, because obviously a Vader, like, again, he's a big streamer. He gets hundreds of viewers. His title was matching Nick and friends. So I can't defend that. what I want to see is I want to see equality. If a small streamer with 1 viewer gets statted on, are they going to enforce that? If they're going to have rules to ban quote-unquote griefers, I want to see guys who are primarily going into matchmaking and betraying people. I want to see guys with fake names like Legitsky sucks 123. I want to see those guys be banned. I don't want those guys to be able to fucking search in matchmaking.
There's a team of 2 that literally their names on Xbox are helping the enemy and aiding the enemy, and all they do is betray their team, and they've been on the game for like 7 months now. All they do is betray. Their name is helping the enemy and aid the enemy. No ban for them at all. Every game, they're 2 dinos. They just AR everyone, dump the sniper, soar out, stop playing. No ban for them. Like how is that? Yeah.
Or what about Russia 24 and BTB?
Unsocial gamer. This guy has been team killing for like 13 years, dude. He's been like he deranks on anyone who basically tries. Like if you're trying,
message you telling you he's gonna pee on your family like every time. That's how you know it's him.
Or what about people that dodge on your team and you're left in a 3v4? Like.
Oh yeah, serial dodgers. You got serial dodgers. You got booters still who have gone unpunished.
Yeah, and that's griefing too. That's actually a federal offense. So
that's cyber terrorism.
I want to see these people be dealt with. They want a Vader's blood on Twitter. If you're gonna go ahead and ban a Vader, which I doubt they would, but if they do, I want to see that enforced on a linear basis. I want equality. I want to see linear enforcement of these rules. And if you do that, I'm cool with it. But
I'll accept it. Yeah, I would accept it at that point.
Because I mean, again, Legitsky got banned for a mistake that he made 6 months ago, 7 months ago, right? Now he's unbanned, he's good to go, but he's banned from insiders. So let's just assume that like if Halo Infinite has a flight, what if Legitsky's banned from that?
I probably will be. Yeah.
So my question is, if you're gonna punish Legitsky, I want to see that same energy kept with everybody who's made a mistake in text chat. Everyone who's said something in voice chat. I want them all to be banned.
Or about the reclaimers that ran 4s on the insider?
That too. I mean, that's griefing, is it not? I mean,
and Fishman.
We're supposed to fucking, for those who are unaware, during 2018 when the game was getting updated, when MC was getting updated, reclaimers, and there was a pro team doing it too. I'm not going to mention who it was, but there was a pro team teabagging me. I was on a Smurf, by the way, but they were teabagging me because I guess I was trying. They're on a team of 4 and they were bagging me. I don't care. I'm not trying to get them banned. I'm not trying to get them fired. There was no complaints made on my part. But it's funny to me. Again, I don't condone what Evader did. To his credit, the guy, Nick Merckx, had pro Halo gameplay in his title. You're sort of inviting that toxic behavior. It wasn't like, you know, Nick Merckx was playing, you know, casual social BTB, and all of a sudden the big bad fucking guys came in with their party of 8 and held the objective. He's playing 4s and MLG, right? The quote-unquote competitive playlist, and he had pro Halo gameplay in his title.
Someone's gonna come in
and someone did do it. Again, I'm not gonna name drop individual people, but I've seen, you know who you were. You guys were matching him too, but Evader's getting the heat. I don't condone what Evader did, but I think he's getting too much criticism, and I think that ultimately, if you don't want to be matched, then put a delay on your stream or don't stream the game. That's just my personal opinion. Ultimately, when I stream, if you decide to match me as a viewer, I'm not gonna yell at you. I'm pretty sure when I got matched by Legitsky's team, I'm pretty sure I saw Quaddy in my chat. They knew what they were doing, whether it was intentional or not. I don't really give a fuck. I say GG's and I move on. If Evader wasn't matching him, somebody else would have been, and they were. And even if those guys weren't, other people would. That's just the nature of the beast. You know, go back on Ninja's YouTube and look at the games against Below the Killa, Innocence, Corrects. Everybody matched back then. Everybody. And Ninja wasn't crying about that. No, Ninja,
oh yeah,
he played it out. He played doubles games.
And he got put through the ringer some games by Villa and Innocence, B11.
Even Naded.
Yeah.
Naded, he would get matched all the time. Him and fucking Nade Dead, or I don't know who that guy is, but him and Nade Dead, they'd stream all the time in doubles. Get matched by everybody. They got some. He's got some really good gameplay on his channel. Again, when Nade is playing social and he's getting matched by, you know, Smurfs and shit, yeah, okay, that's kind of annoying, but I don't think the Smurfs are like intentionally like wasting sniper or like trying to ruin his time. I think the Smurfs are just trying to get clips, which that's a whole other debate. But you have to sort of establish what griefing is, and then we have to have a conversation about, like, a very open and healthy conversation about what griefing is and what's a bannable offense, because it can't be like blurred lines. We have to know. Obviously, if you say the N-word in text chat, okay, that's 100% bannable offense, so you don't do it. But if I call someone a retard in text chat, which I have recently, the fucking kid, he wouldn't quit the game. It's a 4v1 and he's sitting there hiding. If you type retard in text chat, can you get banned for that? Can you get banned for calling someone stupid or low IQ?
Would that be counting as griefing? They're prolonging the game. I mean, people
it
hold
is!
the
It
objective and
fucking
prolong
is!
games.
I was gonna say that. Like, what's the gray area? It's such a big spectrum of things you can do. Like, okay, what about the idiots on your team when you search solo who are just AFK for the first 5 minutes of the game, or who quit out after 2 kills, right?
That's griefing, yeah.
I would consider that griefing. Like, there's so many offenses.
Yeah, or what about the guys who fucking hide? They go HLG.
Yeah.
You know,
it drives me nuts. They just keep killing themselves, right? They just keep blowing themselves up.
Yeah,
So you can't kill them.
it's a 4v1. Their whole team quits, and they're killing themselves for 12 minutes because they don't want to get in. And then they quit the last
1
second.
second left, they quit. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I want a set of rules, established rules as to what we can and cannot do. When Vito got banned, okay, I get it. The guy deranked a couple games in Halo 5 because he wanted to fucking get matches, so he did what he did. Okay, that's fine. You want to ban him? Okay, whatever. I still don't agree with that. Like Legitsky and Steven alluded to, there's guys who are notorious betrayers in matchmaking. There's guys who are still booting in 2020. There's guys who are doing all kinds of fucked up shit without penalty. Where is the same energy for those guys? You guys are quick to harp on a Vader, but where's the guys who are booting in matchmaking who still haven't been banned? Where are the guys who are, betraying people, who are killing themselves in matchmaking, who are
Circle boosting?
People still do it. It's so frustrating, the double standard and the lack of, no awareness from the devs. Like, again, you want to be proactive when these big streamers are getting, matched or whatever and statted on. Okay, I don't agree with what Vader did, but it's a part of the game. So if you're going to ban him for that, then I want to see a set of rules. It's what we can and cannot do. If you provide that, then I'm good.
Absolutely.
So anyway, moving on. What are your guys' thoughts on double and triple EXP? Is it going to be enough to even max players out before Infinite?
Hell no.
Nope. I mean, look, dude. We've had this debate like 1,000 times. We all knew as soon as the EXP system dropped that something was amiss when everyone hit gold swords, which is Tour 6, I think. And no one could get past that for a while. I mean, people were stuck in that range for weeks and weeks and weeks. That's when we knew that there was an issue. As of the last podcast we did, there was an individual, I don't know his name, so, I don't want to, say it incorrectly, but there was an individual who did data mine MCC and figured out that the max amount of EXP you could get on the game for max rank was 1.2 billion. That is obscenely huge, and it is completely unrealistic for anyone to get max rank, even with triple EXP, before Infinite comes out. I would say if someone played the game every single day for triple EXP, like 18 hours a day, they would put a decent dent into it, but there is no way anyone's going to max out before Infinite comes out. I don't see it. There are people right now, like the highest EXP ranks right now on the game. I don't know who specifically, but I can name guys like Mint Blitz or Trampy, who are individuals, maybe Khalifa still. I don't think those guys even have a little over 200 million. They still got like 1 billion to go, dude.
That being said, what do? Do you simply enforce triple or quadruple XP indefinitely, or what do you do?
That
changed the rates. Yeah.
Yep.
We're saying double or triple should be the norm, and then whenever they do the double triple XPs, it's 6 times instead of 3 times what they're doing.
I don't know why they haven't been doing double XP every weekend since XP came out. I mean, everyone's stuck inside. Don't they want people on their game? Don't they want to attract people to play their game?
Infinite and the new Xbox, they're coming out in holiday, right, of 2020. So holiday is what, November, December?
Right.
Okay,
yep.
so technically then we'll have 3, 4, 5 months really until the launch. For someone like Mint Blitz to get 1 billion EXP in 5 months, how hard do you have to push this, the rate?
Again, as it stands right now, people are going to have to play 15, 20,000 games with the progress they have right now to get to that point. With the current rate of EXP and with the triple EXP coming out now, you have to drastically change it. It's like Steven said, you got to literally take the double and triple EXP rates that you have now, implement them as the norm, and then have a double EXP weekend with double that rate every single weekend for it to be viable. There is no other way. I don't care what anybody says. It's not debatable. You have to literally sextuple the rates.
So I just did the math, right? So basically you'd have to play an average so if we're talking 150 days, which would be about December, I think. 15,000 games. That's 100 games per day.
And you could. This is not impossible because me and Avoided, when we grind like social shit. Don't ask me why we do that, but we sometimes we do. We've hit 100 games in a day before. I've done it with Steven and Slim as well. Like you could. Well, we've done it over the course of 100 games a day for 4 or 5 days straight. Not 150. You have to be inhuman to do that. It's just not possible.
I mean, I could see it maybe like if you vote, like, or not vote, but if you like pick OBJ, like if you pick King of the Hill or you pick CTF, you could probably get it done.
It's still not good enough, bro.
That's still a lot of games. Even
The
50,
thing with that,
even 50 games a day is a lot.
yeah, the thing with that is like that's probably just only social because those games are go by faster, and as opposed to ranked, you're pretty much playing out the full times every game.
Yep.
And you're not getting a ton of kills in ranked games or the medals that you need. So it's like it's just social at that point. There's no like incentive to play ranked.
I had a good friend. I had a good friend, a criminal. I had a good conversation with him recently this week. It was about 2 days ago, and him and I were talking about EXP rates and incentives, and a lot of the things him and I talked about, I think 343 could potentially implement that could help. Because look, this EXP system, like we're months and months into it. Like I don't know how many months we've been into it, like 8 months. So we're over halfway through it up until Infinite. So there's not really a lot of going back, but it is redeemable. And one of the things he said is go down the Overwatch route. Give EXP incentives for people who play in larger parties. The more people you play with, the more EXP you get. There's like a multiplier for it. I'm not saying, everyone needs to run 4s in social or anything, but I'm just saying, like, you play with your friends, you get more EXP. It incentivizes team play. People get more EXP. You can incentivize ranked play by giving higher rates in ranked, like a 2 times multiplier in ranked.
They should.
That would, I think, encourage people to play more ranked. I mean, it would encourage people to play more on their 50s at least. I mean, let's say like Slim Haley's playing console 4s. Console 4s, Slim. Let's say you're playing console 4s with your friends, and you want to sit there and you want to play just whatever, right? Like you don't care what you play, but then you start to think, okay, maybe I want to get some EXP instead of playing like social, match composer, Halo 3 Slayer. You could sit there and say, hey, maybe I'll go run 4s. I mean, you already have a 50 in the playlist, let's say, so there's not incentive for ranks, but then you start to see, okay, there's more incentive because maybe I can get more EXP. There's something more to play for. Give people any more incentive to play than they already have. I mean, we're at the bottom of the barrel for incentive right now. We really are.
Imagine if they did ranked big team battle with the 2 times multiplier of you searching ranked, you searching in a full party, and you have the rank to grind. Literally have 3 to 4 things there.
I mean, you could also do something too, like with just the achievements. I mean, like if you win 25 games in a day, you get like an extra million XP, or you get an extra 10 million. Like just have like little incentives to make it easier to rank up, and as it gets closer to Infinite, once it's announced, like the date, have it to where the XP gets even higher and higher going to Infinite. Because there's going to be a lot of people, once Infinite comes out, they're not going to come back to MTC, at least for a little bit. There's going to be still a decent amount of people on MTC, but nowhere near as they are now. And again, most people like Legitsky and Slim, and they're probably not going to flip-flop between Infinite and MTC, at least not initially. Like the first probably 6 months of the game, maybe even year, they're not going to flip-flop. They're going to be going for the highest rank in the game, whatever that is, and then they're going to be grinding rank playlists. So people are going to be preoccupied with Infinite. So give people the option to finish this shit now in the next couple months. I mean, I would say if Infinite comes out, I would guess it would probably be like December. That's what I'm guessing. If it's like November, I mean, again, we don't have much time left when you really factor it in. There's like 4 to 5 months. Get this shit, get the ball rolling now with XP. Start doubling, tripling, quadruple it in some cases. And like you said, give people incentives to play ranked, to play BTB, to play with their friends, to win X amount of games per day, or maybe give XP like per medal. Like if you get a Kilimanjaro, get more XP. Just you could even make it too like on a per playlist basis. Like whatever playlist has the lowest population, give it more of an incentive to play. So for example,
don't cap the XP either. Don't cap it.
Right. So for instance, like if Halo 3 team doubles or Halo 1 doubles is lacking, like Halo 1 doubles is kind of dead, right? So give people like a huge bonus for playing H1 dubs. And I guarantee you some of the biggest nerds will be in there, even if they don't know how to play it, just for XP. So you do things to try to motivate people to play dead playlists.
100%. And one more thing I need to add to that is, look, okay, we have to admit, yes, like 343, they have put it through they put efforts in to make the EXP grind a little more bearable, like challenges, right? Like we talked about those earlier. But the one thing I have to say, again, before someone in the comment section beats us to it, right, is with the challenges, it's a step in the right direction. It's nowhere near enough. It's nowhere near enough. Like beating a campaign mission for like I don't know, 50k, 100k EXP. That's nothing. You could do that in like 2-3 games. So
25,000 XP into fucking 1.2 billion. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like you're not doing anyone any favors there. You're giving people more options is all you're doing. But in reality, it's not giving people better rates for EXP. Having more options isn't the problem. Because, I know some people said, "Wah, I don't get EXP in campaign, wah." I mean, those are... What, you play campaign 20 hours a day? You're not going to get max rank playing fucking campaign, even if they add EXP. Unless you're fucking Jervalen and you play Halo 2 campaign like 90 hours a day. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, come on, bro. Like, don't sit here and add EXP incentives for campaign. That's nothing. That's horseshit. That's a drop in the bucket.
If they want to be serious, they'd make it like 10 to 20 million for like finishing Halo 2 on Legendary, then like 30 million or 50 million for every lasso you finish on
now
every game.
We're talking. Now we're fucking talking, Steven. That's what I'm fucking talking about. You want to add challenges? Make them fucking challenging. Look at the Reach challenges. They had like a weekly challenge where you had to beat a campaign mission on lasso, like full mythic. Well, not full mythic because you didn't have to put. I think on Reach you didn't have to put on the Iron Skull if I remember correctly. But either way, they gave you like difficulty buffs for more incentive, for more credits on Reach. Do the same thing on MCC. A lot of these challenges ain't fucking hard, and they don't offer shit anyways. So,
imagine how many games are there on MCC?
Well, there's if you count 2A, it's CE 2A.
With the campaigns.
Campaigns. 1, 4, 5, 6,
ODST.
in Reach, 6 with Reach.
Oh yeah,
right?
Reach. Forgot about that.
6.
Shocking.
Yeah, just make it 50 million for each lasso you complete. Bam, you have what 1/4 of it done. Then Legendary, boom, there you go. You can get half of it done just playing campaign, so you could play half of it in multiplayer, half of it in campaign. There you go. Everyone wins.
That's brilliant, Steven. That's actually because honestly, dude, I mean, me and Slim, we're completionists. We have 100% completion on pretty much all the Halo games. Slim, I guarantee you right now, if one weekend they popped up and they said 5 million EXP, go beat Halo 2 campaign on Legendary, I would grab you and I'd go do it immediately. I'd say, fuck it, let's do it, right?
Yep.
Like,
No problem.
No problem. I would have fun doing it. It would offer massive incentive towards EXP, and it's somewhat of a challenge, right? Like a little bit. I mean, Halo 2 campaign, it's one of the harder campaigns. It's not, it's campaign. I mean, I'm not comparing it to like playing lethal and matchmaking, but it's not something that's terribly easy. So it's not like running through a campaign mission for 4 minutes and getting like 100k EXP. There's more involvement, right? There's more to it. It's more layered. It's less, it's less mundane a task to do, in my opinion. So
I've never even played any of the campaigns really on MCC. It actually encouraged me to do it.
I mean, dude, you care about your EXP. You were one of the highest ranks off the rip. When the EXP system debuted with Reach, you were grinding. You were playing 14, 15 hours a day, and you were tweeting it out. People were inquiring like, "Oh, what level are you at?" You actually cared. But as soon as you hit the wall, you stopped giving a shit.
Oh yeah, once when you hit Blue Shield, it's like 55 or 54 million or something, then the next rank is like, what is it? Blue Sword is 108 million. Like, okay. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna get that.
Soon as I got my Blue Shield, dude, I said I don't give a shit because you stop seeing the progression. You stop seeing yourself progressing because sometimes it'll take you like a week to rank up. I don't even remember the last time I ranked up, dude. I really don't remember. Like,
what's the point of even a progression system if you're not progressing? If you're stuck, then what is the fucking point? Dude, I'm at a rank. I hit the general Blue Shield yesterday. I need 3.4 mil or some dumb shit to rank up. Like, you know how long that's gonna take me before I progress? I'm never going to progress.
No, you're done for, dude. Like you're gonna have to get a rank a fucking every few weeks until you get the swords, and then that's it, dude. You know,
Blue
say goodbye.
sword, that's pretty much it. The only thing that's progressed in that ranking system is my hairline. Much.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but looking at the rank distribution between Xbox and PC, it almost seems to me as if more people are playing ranked games on the Xbox One. So, what's the realistic expectation or timetable for crossplay? Is it even something that Xbox players want?
I'm telling you right now, dude, crossplay, it's something pretty much universally desired at this point. It's been asked for, you know, for since before Reach even came to PC. People were saying, is it going to be crossplay? Is it going to be crossplay?
Yes, sir.
That's literally one of the biggest requests. My issue is going back to what you said about the rank distribution, is I really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, feel like that there is more competition and more interest in the ranked playlists, for Radar at least, on console.
Yep.
Like Radar doubles,
Definitely.
Radar Slayer. I feel like there's more competition, more people searching teams, more people care. It kind of shows. I think the highest Radar ranks are higher than the highest PC ranks.
The thing is with console is that, like I said before in my previous videos, like people, they might not have the money to drop on a PC. And even if they do, there's a lot of people who aren't like technically savvy. PC gaming is the future, and it's something that everybody should invest in. There's no doubt in my mind. But you cannot underestimate or undermine the simplicity of a console. It's turning the shit on, playing it, joining a party chat. Like you can't. It's just effortless. If you're not tech savvy, using Discord, talking about FOV and VSync, and it's just not for the average person. People don't care about that. And I know it's not what people don't want to hear, but like ultimately, there's so many good players on. If you go to mccstats.com and check the console players, like their ranks, there's really so many good players who would most certainly be top players on PC as well, that just they haven't made the switch because either they don't have a good enough computer to run the game, they don't have a computer period, because again, most people just, you know, do things on their phone. I feel like PC has a higher skill ceiling, if that makes sense. I think that with the high FPS, I think that it'd be really cool to see some of these, you know, good console players on PC to see what they can do. I sort of get why they just don't want to make the switch. You know, people just don't have the motivation or technical skill to make the switch. And, you know, again, there's YouTube videos they could watch and there's tutorials they could read. And I'm sure that Legitsky would help them. I'm sure Slim would help them. I would help them.
Avoided would help.
Avoided would help. I mean, there's people who will lend a hand to people who need assistance. Like, you know, I've helped people with building computers recently, you know, with you know, part lists and this and that. And it's cool to see people making the switch, but like I said, there's still just a lot of guys who they just haven't done it yet. And I think that some will, some are doing it now as we speak, but there's some who won't. And crossplay is very important. I think that one of the biggest issues with crossplay is that, like I said, we're going to talk about this soon, is like the high FPS, the skill ceiling is higher. And you have guys on with, you know, no VSync playing in, you know, 1080p 4K, super high FPS. And sniping is, I don't want to say effortless, but it's much easier now to snipe. And everybody is TBSA. Everyone is snipe down. Everyone's B11. And it's super frustrating because one person, like an average player, can change a game. With high FOV too, you could see more on the map. You know, high FOV. For me, I tried a high FOV recently. I was playing on 100. And it's so much like easier to aim. The perception of like with beatdowns, like the depth like perception is kind of weird with beatdowns, but you could see so much more on the map. Jumps are easier. Yeah, I mean, it's a different game. And I think that console players, I think that like they probably would get frustrated playing against some of the mouse and keyboard sniper guys, and even guys who play controller with like super high frame rates with no VSync. I could guarantee that console players, they will get frustrated. Crossplay, I think, is needed because population integration is like important, and you want to populate the ranked playlist. I mean,
Absolutely.
And just like social in general too. I mean, social's been pretty populated, but ranked is like Legitsky and Slim searching fours. They can't find a game, dude. That's frustrating.
We'd find games all day if we were playing on crossplay, honestly, because you know that Slayer playlist is extremely popular. It's a very popular. I mean, it's been popular since day one. I mean, it's literally no surprise. Ranked Radar Slayer is one of the most populated playlists in all of Halo 3, and you know, we're sat here and we're basically in a 50-50 split with the population, maybe even 40-60. So, you know, you're not going to make everyone play on one thing or the other. And if you make them play half and half on one or the other, it's just going to split the population. It's not healthy for the game. So, you know, I don't know what their timeline is for crossplay. I was really hoping they just launch it with Halo 3 for PC. That would have been ideal. The way things are looking now, we're probably going to get it closer to the Halo 4 launch. Truth be told, I don't even know if that's going to be too late or not. At that point,
I would think they would probably flight it, right? I don't think they would are bold enough to even just drop it, because they're probably, I mean, who knows what could go wrong if they drop crossplay with no testing, knowing 343.
Yeah.
So I imagine they're gonna have the console insider flight as well as the PC and see how it goes. But I see that sometime with the Halo 4 porting to PC.
I would think so. I mean, look, it's not the most simple of things to enable crossplay on a game like this. I mean, we're not talking about, like, a newer title Halo game. This is Halo MCC, boys. This game is known for being a fucking mess held together by duct tape and fucking dog shit. So, who knows what it will break by putting crossplay in, or if, what issues there might be. I mean, on every game that has crossplay that I know of, there have been certain exploits for people to play on a certain platform exclusively, or to jump into other platform lobbies. Fortnite had that issue where you had PC players playing in, like, mobile lobbies. You had PC players playing in Xbox and PlayStation lobbies. Like, this kind of shit happens. So I would expect them to thoroughly test it
So
first.
My question though is, do you simply, like, not have a Switch? Do you just simply mandate crossplay altogether?
I would mandate it personally.
Yeah.
That is a good question, though. That is a good question. I mean, I know some people who play Call of Duty, they know that you can just flip it on and off, right? Correct. On Call of Duty. With a game like MCC, man, again, I think splitting...
Yeah, because they were talking too about the input-based matchmaking, but, like,
that's awful.
If you're gonna do that, people are gonna use Zims. People are gonna cheat the system. So I think just mandate crossplay and just, in my opinion, input-based matchmaking is like people crying about aim assist.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna get into the aim, like we've talked about that in previous podcasts. I'm not gonna talk about that. Long story short, aim assist is not going anywhere. It's gonna remain stagnant. It is what it is. The PC players can move on to, Valorant or CS:GO or, like, whatever, modern game they want to play. The input-based matchmaking, like, I don't see a point to do that. It's just another variable splitting people up. The more things you add to the game, you're splitting people up. I've always said with the match composer, maybe, just maybe, have it to where you have to select, like, a certain number, like at least 2 games, at least 2 game types, or just something to make it so people have to search more games or plays. I mean, I don't really mind how it is now, because again, you have all these different options to play, and it's good because people should play, like, whatever they want to. But at the same time, like, if population is an issue and no one knows that but 343, and the people who, like, search, obviously, they need to make adjustments. So if they're not going to make it so you have to select, like, 2 different game types, then start removing things that are not populated. So for example, Halo 3, it has a ranked doubles playlist. Remove it from social. Why do we have 2 options to play ranked doubles? Like, just make people search ranked. If you don't want to play doubles, or if you don't want to play ranked doubles, then you don't play doubles. Like, why have something...
party matching too.
Yeah.
Party matching social doubles. Like,
right,
that's
which is
literally,
which is stupid.
And the guest thing isn't a problem either, because you could make a brand new account easily.
Right, yeah. I mean, if they want to play doubles, then just, make a new account on your Xbox or whatever. But my thing is, you have all these things, like, splitting people up, and a lot of these playlists are dead. I mean, again, we could go through each playlist and we could talk about what's dead or not.
Who's gonna search Halo Reach team doubles like Flag or King of the Hill only? Like,
right.
Why can you even do that?
And, like, Legitsky and friends, like, people are probably gonna say, okay, well, they can't find matches because it's dead. No, they could play 2s if they want to, and they'd find matches, but they don't. The thing is, they don't want to lose. They want to try to get to 50 without losing. So their situation's a little bit different than most. But like Legitsky said, if there was crossplay enabled, they'd be able to find matches. They'd match some of the high teams on Xbox. And I think that crossplay is logical. I think that most modern games are going to have it. Infinite will have it. COD is going to have it probably moving forward. I think that every game needs it, period. Like, every single game that releases needs crossplay.
I don't
Definitely.
think 343 should continue on with their idea of adding server selection, because right now the biggest game,
Probably
Halo
not.
3 out of the collection, came out on PC. why can't we find games 5 days into launch? I mean, there's people already blocking servers, and we can't match them. And I can't imagine if everyone had the option to easily block or search only a certain server on top of input-based matchmaking. Like, that would just make the game even worse. Like,
Yeah,
as far as finding games.
And I've had talks with different 343 employees about the blocking servers, and they don't acknowledge it. They don't acknowledge me. They don't acknowledge my video. There was a Reddit post by a 343 employee who said that blocking servers, quote unquote, breaks the game. It does not. I mean, maybe for other people it does, because they got to play on your server, but it doesn't break the game. You know, I mean, you're not even affecting the game. It's not a cheat because you're not injecting anything into the game. You're just blocking things in your router. I think what needs to happen with the server selection, they should scrap that idea, patch my method, which I would, you know, I mean, I would work with them if they wanted some input. I mean, obviously, like, my method's pretty known now, so they're, you know, they know what I'm doing. I could help them with potential workarounds. I could tell them what to do if they want to, like, sort of negate that. They need to fix the allocation process. So, like, off stream or off recording here, we were talking, Legitsky was saying that, you know, there was 8 Australians who they had picked teams. So there's 4 Australians on each team, and it would be US West. That's not acceptable in any capacity. It's not. If Legitsky got a team full of West Coasters, right? You know, there are 7 West Coasters in the game, but one guy is from East, right? And he's forcing East. The server shouldn't be East. What the game has to have everyone in the game ping all the servers and take the average ping, like the lowest average ping to, you know, each server. So the majority should get priority. If there's 7 East Coasters in a game and there's one guy from the West Coast, it should be an East Coast server. That's just what it is. Like, if there's 6 people from the UK and there's 2 people from West Coast US, it should be a UK server. Like, I know that's not what people want to hear, especially Americans, you know, because they'll say, oh, well, a game was made in America. But ultimately, the majority should always receive priority. Always. Always. Like, there should never be bridging. There should never be forcing servers or blocking, you know, like this and that. Address the allocation process. And then, you know, you won't have people like me who are trying to, you know, I mean, I would have never have been so persistent had the server selection been fair, but it's not. It's just not, you know. But again, I don't know exactly how the game was coded. I don't know what they have to do. You know, again, MCC has always been a game where the party leader is going to get host. That's always the case. It's been that way since 2014. I made a video back then, and I had a bunch of people in my comments saying that I didn't know what I was talking about, but can't say that I'm lying when there's so much proof that negates their claims. Like Slim said, yeah, that's another issue, which we could talk about in a different video. I mean, obviously you guys all know about blocking by now. It is an issue. It does split people up. As we alluded to earlier, the biggest issue with this game is the ranks and the speed of ranking up. If you make it so we can get a 50 in, like, say 100 games, that would make this game so much better. They'd be able to find matches, double or triple the speed as it takes to rank up or down. And you could do it down too. Like, again, just have a linear thing where, you know, you make it 100% faster, ranking up and down. It doesn't have to be 1-to-1 with Halo 2. You know, I mean, all these games are really not 1-to-1 anyway.
Yeah.
You know, there's a whole bunch of issues, and you know, if you want to fix the game, don't worry about server selection and don't worry about input-based matchmaking. Don't worry about all this shit. Just make the ranks faster up and down, and then you fix like 90% of the issues.
Yeah, I mean, just, dude, I don't know anyone who likes the current ranking system as far as just getting their ranks reset and then grinding back. It doesn't matter if you're going for the first 50, A50, or even if you're just trying to get some ranks, man. It doesn't matter. Like, you're probably not going to be a fan because it just takes too damn long. You just don't see the progress. I mean, at this rate, dude, like, we hit 32s in less than a week or something, whatever, right? Like, I'd be surprised if people hit 32s next month. Like a lot of people, I'd be surprised. You know, people, they don't have the time to play this game like that. It shouldn't take you weeks to get like a half-assed rank in a playlist. I mean, look, I know people can get a 50 in a day on Halo 3, like, you know, whatever. I'm not trying to harp on Halo 3 like that was like the definitive ranking system of Halo, but like, you know, that was better. It was better at least. You could get a couple 50s in a day, and you could play at a high level. You could earn the 50. It wasn't unearned, you know? The problem I have with this MCC bullshit is the solution is pretty simple, it's not cut and dry necessarily, but it's pretty simple, right? I mean, you drop the number of games to get a 50, bing, bang, boom. You keep party matching, you keep rank matching. People get into ranges to match each other quicker. Keep it 30 through 50 so people can find games at the higher levels. People will get to the 30 through 50 range quicker, and then at that point, they'll have to earn their 50 still.
Yep.
You know? I see some people complain and say, oh, it needs to be hard so people can't get... Dude, it's a fucking 80-year-old game that has a constantly dropping, fluctuating population. Like, people just need to find games, but there still needs to be integrity. You still need to have party matching. You still need to have rank matching. I don't care what anyone says. Those two features need to stay constant. But you can make changes to other parameters for how people match each other, how people rank up, and you can make the game still playable. People can still find games.
I agree.
I think it's that simple. So
Just so dumb the amount of times that we've tweeted at multiple 343 guys or been in party chats with them. They know that we're the guys that, you know, had the most kills and the ranks and shit on the game. Instead of listening to us, our experience, they just do whatever they think is necessary, even though they don't even play the game like that. That's just ridiculous.
I'm not trying to be like a fucking dickhead or anything, but like I would challenge any of the guys on the MCC team who actively develop the game, go try to get a 50 and tell me how fucking miserable it is. First of all, because, you know, maybe if you're not like the best player, it's already hard enough, but just the time, man. Like, just the time that it takes, regardless of your skill, man. You don't even have to be that good. You could be average. You could be the best. It really doesn't matter. It's miserable. I mean, I implore you, man. Like, go play on the ranking system that you guys have had in the game for this long, or have been working on developing this long. Hell, they updated it for the update, like we said earlier. Go play on it. Why don't you test it out? You tell me how it is. You know what I mean? Yep. You tell me how much fun it is taking like weeks to get out of your fucking teens or 20s into the 30s, because it does take that long for a lot of people.
No, I definitely agree.
So I just get a taste of your own poison, man. You know, because
then God forbid, fucking not that great at the game. I'm telling how long it takes to those guys to fucking get up.
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, I know people who probably played like 2,000 games in a ranked playlist on MCC on the before the reset who didn't have a 50. You know,
I helped a ton of people get their 50s before the reset.
yeah. Tell me about that, Slim. So like, you know, you've been up and down the ladder playing at different skill ranges. You know, getting people to a 50. I mean, you've been at your skill level, but you've been playing with people, helping people who are at a far lower skill level get their 50s. I mean, how much time does that take, man? Like, especially with the losses too.
Yeah, it's miserable. I can't imagine, because I mean, I would say I'm pretty well versed in a playlist. You have to like play a certain way in 2s and 1s, and it's such a headache, especially with the way the ranking system works. If you have a high level on your team, it's probably going to put the lower ranked people on your team, because it's like saying like, oh, you're this good, you can carry this person, and then you'll match a pretty much a team of equally skilled players that will just run you over.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, I'm right there with you. You know, it's TS2s. Okay, look, like Tommy was talking about it earlier. Like, we don't really want to play 2s, even though we could probably find it. He's right. Look, like, I'll address that myself. I don't like Slayer 2s. Slim knows this. He's played Slayer 2s with me. I hate that shit. I don't have fun playing it. It's always a crapshoot. It always was a crapshoot. But it's even worse because of the MMR now that they added into the game. So, you know, it was already like a roulette on who'd you get on your team. But if like me and Slim played on our mains, we'd probably match what looks like a team of 4 on the other team.
Yep.
And we get 2 guys who are barely competent to be in our range.
M16
or probably
full clip on our team.
Yeah, M16 full clip. Yeah.
It's
not touch
basically
juggalo.
like, yeah, that's what TS. I mean, like TS2s has always been a gamble. It's just whoever gets the better 2 randoms. But ultimately, right now, because the game is still pretty new, you have a lot of guys who they're trying to progress. And if you're a high rank in the playlist, you might get some of the lower ranks, and you might match like a team of like 20s or 25s. For all you know, they could all be 50s. So it's tough, man. TS2s is tough, and you know, it's like. Thing is, what do you do? I mean, do you just search indefinitely? Do you play 2s and get upset? Or do you just not play the game and wait for the ranks to balance out? that's your own prerogative. You can fix a lot of these issues right now by just making it quick to rank up. Like, just boost it by 100% linear. So if you lose, or if you win, and you fix a lot of these issues. But unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to happen. They want these games and everything to be one-to-one with how it was intended to be. It's just, again, it's not feasible. It's not. It hasn't been feasible before. It wasn't feasible prior to August 2018. It's not feasible afterwards. It's not feasible now. I mean, you keep resetting the ranks, and I mean, for what? The game is dead. You're hurting people by doing this because, again, it's number one, there's no incentive to play on your 50, but you're trying to get it back, and you pretty much have to wait because TS2 is like unplayable. And I mean, and again, 4s is like, there's been times like even recently, like I'll search 4s and we don't find games. There's just no one, like, there's either no one playing, people are forcing, or like, because people are too high. Like I think Siphon, I tried playing with him, he was 28. We couldn't find games.
You gotta grief streamers and keep an eye out if there's team searching.
Shouldn't be that way. Yeah, it should not be that way.
It's just
90% searching, 10% gameplay.
Yep. But anyway, so with Halo Infinite on the horizon, there has been rumors about like a MCC sustain team. So, do you believe that 343 will abandon MCC once Infinite launches? Moreover, what can be done both in the short and long term? I mean, we just talked about this too, but what can be done to sort of keep people on MCC after, like, post Infinite?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that this game will be abandoned, and I think this quote unquote sustain team, all they're gonna do is just continue with like the rotational nonsense they've been doing, the yap, the whatever else they have every year. Like, oh, get your yap. I think that's all they're gonna do. They're not gonna really do much to the game. It'll probably just turn into a hardcore game where every ranked playlist is just hardcore because that's all I see them doing, and I don't know what people are gonna stay on this game, but I think all they can do is just double XP weekends, and that's about it. I don't see them adding new content after Infinite because I think that's just too much for them for a game that's just too far gone like this.
Definitely. No, I mean, the way I kind of viewed it is when Tommy brought this up, so I haven't known about this for too long, but, the way things are probably going to go down is you're probably going to have a small team who is just going to be recycling updates over and over again. Let's say, like, we see weekly updates on MCC now. They rotate a playlist in, they rotate it out. They add new content every time a new game comes out or, every now and again. That's not going to be the case, I don't think. I think we're going to see like a monthly basis where they rotate things in and out. It might recycle menus in and out, like the Warthog Snowy theme for the winter months, and then, whatever else they want to do. But we're not going to see like season 22 of MCC. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen past Infinite. So it's going to be a lot of recycling and just basically the bare minimum at the most is what we're going to see.
Oh, they call it a sustain team. Like, you know what sustain means, right?
Yeah, it's to keep it stagnant.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what they're gonna do. What are they gonna do? Recycle the challenges every month? They might not even throw any new nameplates in there. God forbid. They're just gonna recycle the same ones as well. So it's like, you might as well just say, instead of us sustaining MCC, we're just gonna fuck off from it. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're better off just typing that out because they did the same thing with Halo 5. The only time they came back to MCC is to where, they could cycle the PC shit into the game, make more money off of it.
Yeah.
Halo 5 was dying as well, so that's why they came back to MCC. But, like, let's be real. Like, Infinite's out, even, like, 2-3 years in, like, bro, like, no one's
just gonna have an ad for Halo Infinite on the menu screen every day.
Yeah, dude, like, come on, man. Like, that's your sustain team, alright.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a lot of mundane stuff. It's gonna be stuff that kind of they've done before already for extended periods of time, like the yap shit. Like, oh look, July of 2021, dude. Like, yap's out again. Get your chance to get the nameplate. Or February of 2021. Get the Valentine's Day nameplate. It's just gonna be same old shit that they can rotate in and out that's already been done, and it's gonna be it's gonna be very minimalistic. So I don't see them, like, if people have ideas of what they're going to do past Infinite, there's not going to be new playlists. There's not going to be new offerings. There's not going to be new menu UIs. There's not going to be new nameplates. It's just...
I could see them rotating like Griffball in, out. I could see them rotating like the Yap Yap shit in and out. But I mean, like, they're not going to do anything significant. They're not going to add new art, new content. I mean, there's really not much to add anyway. So it's, I think that, you know, they have something good going with like the skins. Like they added the recent skin option, where you know, for Halo 1, which you could turn on and off. I think they can do that for like maybe Halo 4. Like they could probably do certain things. But I mean, ultimately, I think that it's pretty much done post Infinite. Like, you know, one thing we'll talk about here soon is Halo 5 on PC. I think that Halo 5 could be something that they could sort of add to MCC that could sort of reinvigorate MCC post Infinite. I don't know. I mean, they could work on the Halo 3 spawns. They could work on Halo 2 audio. They could work on Halo 3 shot registry. I mean, there's things that they can do, which hopefully they will look into. But I mean, do I expect them to? No. I mean, realistically, right now they're working on Halo 3 ODST and then Halo 4. Everything is shifted. They could say what they want about, well, we understand that this is an issue, that's an issue, but like, are they actively allocating resources to look into the Halo 2 audio? Are they actively allocating resources to look into Halo 3 shot registration? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, it's something that they could talk about and acknowledge, and I think that's the right thing to do, because you don't want to invalidate fans. And even though those are actual issues, those are big issues, I think that they're just focusing on getting these projects out when they have to be out. You know, they're given deadlines by Microsoft, and they want this stuff out soon. And I think that, like we talked about earlier, I think they're going to work on crossplay. But post-Infinite, I think maybe Halo 5 to MCC, but I don't know otherwise what they would do.
Jeez.
But speaking of Infinite, though, given that Infinite is being developed for the Xbox One, speak about the advantages of high FPS as it pertains to MCC PC. Will players need to ditch their Xbox One and its hardware limitations for Infinite?
I think
they will. Oh, wait, go on. My bad.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think if they've never played PC, they won't notice the advantages. Just like, because they've never seen what's beyond what they're playing on. Just like when we were on Halo 3 360, 30 FPS, when we went to MCC PC with the 60 frames, we had no idea. And just like for myself, going from console games to PC games and trying to come back to console, I did not notice like how much of a difference it was as far as like the frame rate and the input lag, which was a big thing for me, which really threw me off coming back to console after the Halo 3 flight. I could not aim to save my life, but everyone who was on console still obviously did notice. It's like a fish not knowing they're in water. I think they'll be fine if they've never played a PC, like played on a PC to know the difference. That's my take on that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like Slim said, there are obvious advantages when you're playing on a PC. I mean, I don't know how it's going to be on Infinite, but as far as, you know, playing on a PC goes with playing Halo 3 or, you know, any of the other games on a controller or whatever, the input delay is vastly lower. The aiming is considerably smoother. You know, there are, you know, small advantages that you get from it. And, you know, it's like Tommy said earlier, you know, there is a bit of a shakeup with who's good or decent on PC as opposed to who's good or decent on console. I mean, there are people who are, you know, actually properly solid on PC who probably wouldn't be nearly as good on console potentially due to the fact that, you know, sniping is considerably easier, for example, and they can do a lot more damage by getting a power weapon. Yep. So, you know, I would say, you know, for people to get really the most out of the next game and for them to play it more consistently at a high level, they're going to want to ditch their ones and they're going to want to get a Series X, I think. Or, you know, maybe even a 1X. The 1X can run 120 hertz, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Is that right, Tom?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's just, you know, you can't play any games on 120 hertz on Xbox right now because there are no games available. But if Infinite has 120 hertz compatibility with the Xbox One X, there are people with current One X's who will be able to play the game on 120 hertz in the coming months. So, you know, I would say if you want to play the game competitively on the next game, you know, this is for competitive players. You're going to want to play on 120 hertz plus, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's absolutely mandatory because, you know, you could still... I mean, look, dude, I'm just going to be honest. You could play against B11 on a flat screen TV playing on the edge of his bed, and he'll still shit on like 99% of people. Regardless of what platform they're on, regardless of what input they have or hardware, it doesn't matter. But I think for your average Joe who's trying to play the game and enjoy the game, you're probably going to want to upgrade, man. I would say so. You know, the Xbox One hardware, this is relatively dated. I mean, this is what, 7-year-old hardware we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Xbox One?
2013.
I would highly
2013?
suggest anyone that's thinking about upgrading to upgrade.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I would do it sooner than later. Also, that's the caveat too. I would do it sooner than later.
Yeah,
because...
start saving now, because the
Mhm.
thing is, you know, like, I don't know if you guys saw those games against Trippy, Quaddy, and Alex. I think is that Hydrogen?
Hydrogen,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
That's it.
mean, I don't know if you saw those games against Trippy and Correx, but man, I mean, you take good players and you give them high FPS, and they don't miss. They don't miss. It's not.
Yeah.
It is not easy, and I can't speak on different games, but in Halo 3 with unlimited FPS, if you're on 400 FPS, it's bad. It's rough, man. Like if a good player gets sniper, they will dominate you. I mean, I played Lil Sandel on Pit. He's a 90 ping, and he was just going off, dude, off. I mean, it's just incredible what good players can do on high FPS. So I would definitely recommend switching. I mean, again, you can probably get away with 60 FPS if you're a casual and you don't really care. Sure, don't upgrade. But I mean, if you're someone who wants to get like an edge and have every edge possible, then I would highly suggest you invest in a PC, or like Legitsky said, like a Series X, and see how that goes. But like Legitsky alluded to, I'd say 120 hertz minimum. Some point on PC, people are going to be playing in like 144, 240, and whatever's beyond that. So 360, I don't know, 400. I mean.
360's on the horizon. It's on the horizon, and people right now are playing on higher than that. So you know, it's again, dude. If you want to just go keep up with the times. You know, when people were going to MCC before they found out it was dog shit, but before it launched, people were getting their Xbox Ones. I mean, hey, I bought an Xbox One for MCC. Tommy bought one. Steven bought one. Slim bought one. We probably wouldn't have bought them otherwise if it weren't for MCC. So
I wouldn't. No, hell no.
Yeah. So it really, I mean, if MCC never came out, we'd probably still be playing Halo 3 on 360. I mean, maybe not now. I have no idea. But if there was no MCC, maybe even like 2015, 16, 17, we could have all still been on 360. You know, we probably would have bought ones for like Halo 5, but a lot of us would probably still be playing on the 360. So, you know, you want to keep up with the times. That's really the most important thing. And, you know, obviously dropping like $1,500, $1,000 on a PC is a bit. It's a bit steeper a price than dropping $500 on a new console. So I think you'll have your options for sure. You'll have your options. I think people will be able to play on a Series X, and you gotta get your monitor too. Make sure you get a fucking proper monitor for that. That's really like the two things you're gonna need. I think is proper monitor and at least a Series X, and you'll probably be fine. So
I will say though, if Infinite is being developed for the Xbox One, like with Xbox One in mind, given that it's capped at 60 hertz, is Infinite going to be developed in such a way where there's not much of a advantage of playing on higher FPS? Like, because Halo isn't like a point and shoot type of game where, because it's not like CS, or it's not like, you know, COD. High FPS, it is a really big advantage, especially like with, you know, it's sniping, or like SWAT, or, you know, in snipers or whatever. But when it comes to just straight PR play, I feel like you can still dominate on a 60 hertz monitor. So I think Infinite, given that it is going to be developed with 60 hertz in mind, you almost kind of wonder how necessary the jump's going to be. I would say invest in a PC now, just because it's the future regardless. Even if you play Infinite, if you play MCC, you know, Halo 3 PC, if you play COD, Counter-Strike, Valorant, whatever you want to play, everything's better. Even COD Warzone, it's free, right? It's way better on PC. It's way better. So just invest in a PC, period. But like I said, I'm kind of curious because Halo 3 was developed for, you know, not for the original Xbox. Halo 3, when it came out in 07, it was developed, you know, the Xbox 360 was out for 2 years. This game's coming out exactly with the new Xbox, but it's going to be backwards compatible with the Xbox One. So obviously, like, they want to include the people who have Xbox Ones, which is cool. I think that's a good idea, but it's going to be interesting to see how it plays on the Xbox One opposed to the new Xbox, opposed to PC. So it's going to be very cool to see.
Yeah, I hope they don't limit features just because they want to make it still accessible for the old console.
Yep.
that's what I was gonna say too. Yeah, you know, it's like you take the take like the MCC for example, and you compare console to PC, and in reality, there are some advantages, but at the end of the day, MCC, it's not really a demanding game on a
No.
PC, right? I mean, it's running Halo 3 on PC basically. It's not like you're trying to play GTA 5 or something, you know what I mean? So the demand really isn't there for your PC, but that's making me wonder. Yeah, maybe Infinite won't be a high load game, won't be that demanding because features may be limited to accommodate for the previous generation of consoles. That is a possibility. I'm kind of there with Slim. I kind of hope not. I'm not trying to say you got to abandon the Xbox One community there in that sense, but at the end of the day, it's like I said earlier. You got to move on with the times, and if you're still playing on a Xbox One, you should expect to have some kind of limitations to a certain degree. Now, the game shouldn't be unplayable, but game being developed in 2019, 2020, being run on a 7-year-old console. I mean, limitations are bound to happen. It's just, do you accommodate for them, and do you limit yourself across the board for PC and for Xbox Series X, or do you make necessary adjustments for it to work? I think they'll be smarter about it for sure, but I think there is definitely a concern that there may be some limitations self-imposed by 343.
And also, too, on the Xbox One X or the Series X, the recordings should be a smooth 60 FPS because it's going to be 120 hertz, and that's divisible by 60. So, whereas like 144, it would be 72 FPS. It's going to be like the recordings should be crispy. So it's going to be really interesting to see like how well the console does in terms of like recording clips, streaming gameplay, and we're going to talk about content here soon, but it's going to be very interesting to see how it works with, every platform. Because, I mean, I've seen something, too, that they want to bring Infinite to the PS4. That's a whole other ballgame. But
oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, speaking of PC, though, Halo 5 is already on PC, sort of. But do you guys think that it'll ever get a PC release, like an official one?
Honestly, dude, I think it's just gonna be one of those things when Infinite's out, they're just gonna randomly say, they're just gonna tweet out on the official Halo Twitter like, oh, we released Halo 5 PC, and I think that's gonna be the end of it.
I mean, so if you want to include this tweet, I could link it in the description or the comment section below, rather. But Josh Mankey was asked this on Twitter because Trippy brought it up in conversation, and Josh Mankey himself, who is responsible for the MMR system on Halo 5, said that were there to be a matchmaking port for Halo 5 PC, it probably wouldn't happen until after Infinite. How long after? I don't really remember, but if we pulled up the tweet, we would see what he had to say himself. And there was a lot of conversation over it because there is a demand. I know you guys who are probably watching Tom right now are a majority classic audience, but the facts are there. There is demand for Halo 5 on PC to be a full port, which includes matchmaking. Right now, it's just custom games in Forge. So it's not like no one's asking for it. So were it to happen, I think it would be after Infinite. And I do think it is highly likely, if not almost guaranteed, that they will eventually port the matchmaking because most of the game's already there. It's just missing one step. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. So the Xbox One gave us the DVR feature, which enabled players to stream and or record gameplay with minimal investment. Now, given that PC is slowly becoming the meta, do you think that we'll see a spike in Halo content?
I think it'll just stay the same for where it's at, because I don't think Halo content has ever gone up as far as gameplay. It's always been the same big YouTubers that do lore videos. I think that's just as far as Halo content will go. Competitive Halo content creators, they kind of just plateau. I don't know what more games people could play that would be content worthy as far as like competitive gameplay, because there's not a ton of competitive games left to be played on PC. Maybe only in hardcore, but how much of that content will we actually see? Because a lot of the people that probably play that are probably going to be like small YouTubers, and they probably won't break even like 50 views. So I think it'll just stay at a plateau. It won't be until Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
We'll see like a big pop off in content, depending on how good that game does. Determines, I think, how successful the content creators for Halo get.
Yeah.
And you appear in search engines. Well, whenever the game's first populated, pop up in search engines. So that's how you'll get more views and stuff like that. If the game plateaus, then so will the content and like quality of content.
Yeah.
Can't die out off the rip.
If we're talking like pre-Halo Infinite Halo content, I think it's going to stay the same. You're still going to have the Mint Blitzes, the Ishi Vids, the Eli X's, the Natids, the Uber Nicks, you know. You're going to have those guys who are going to be still doing their thing, continuing to rack up views, continuing to stay on top of the Halo game, but you're probably not going to see like a, I don't know, like a PewDiePie type YouTuber make like a Halo upload of any kind or like clip anything and post it on Twitter, you know, at least to that degree on a consistent basis. But once Infinite's out, dude, man, you know, that might be a whole different ball game. You might see some big Halo players, you know, get even bigger, and you might see like pros from other games like Overwatch, you know, Counter-Strike, Valorant, Apex, who knows, Fortnite. All these guys might be coming onto the game. You might see guys making a transition if there's a incentive for them to make content or to compete. And you might see some of these guys become the next guys up to post a lot of shit, like clips on Twitter, you know, Instagram stuff, YouTube uploads. There's a lot of content to be made, whether it's streaming or other, you know, other applications. Hell, even like TikTok. I mean, TikTok is huge. You know what I mean? I don't know about in gaming as much.
Do you think Infinite's going to be a game that, I mean, obviously we haven't seen gameplay for it, so it's kind of hard to speculate. But I mean, do you think that like everyone, well, not everyone, but people are going to be able to record in you know, higher FPS? I would imagine on the new Xbox, and it's going to be more of like a PC. And of course, people have PCs now. Do you think that people like we're going to see more montages, more streaming, more gameplay? Is there going to be like an influx in terms of content? I'm not saying that like there's going to be like a PewDiePie that emerges from Halo, but is there going to be like, there's going to be more people, so I would assume there's going to be more content inherently, but like, I mean, do you think that we're going to see
more
like
content? Yes, but I don't think they'll be discovered because I just don't think people watch arena shooters like Halo anymore. Because
probably not.
When people watch Halo, it's mainly just gameplay in the background and someone's talking about like something like some drama or something. With other games like COD, what is it, Warzone? They usually highlight like a certain like probably a minute where they get in a fight and then it skips in however many minutes to their next fight. Like you can't do that with Halo. The only way to really watch it is if you watch the entire game, and no one does that anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys have any final thoughts, questions, comments?
Raider did nothing wrong.
Look, as of the recording of this video, this is July 20th of 2020, so we don't know what Infinite looks like right now. We're a week into Halo 3's release, so if things change, they change, but, you know, a lot of what we talked about is speculation, so, you know, things might change very quickly in the next 3 days. Halo Infinite most likely will be revealed gameplay-wise in 3 days from now, so, you know, that's going to be a big game changer. But you know, other than that, I mean, we're just here to get the word out, man. We're just here to keep it real about how we feel about MCC PC, Halo 5, and Halo moving forward. So that's just our thoughts, pretty much.
Okay, well, that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. As always, it was a pleasure talking to my boys. I know I haven't uploaded in quite some time, but I'm trying to get back into it, boys. You know, this year's been pretty fucked up. I've been streaming a little bit, twitch.tv/Tommy_Kost. I'll have the link in the video description, so you can check me out there if you want to, but there's no schedule, so no promises. But yeah, let me know who you guys want to see on the PodKosT down below. But keep in mind, I am a random. I'm not going to get David fucking Walsh on the podcast, but I could try to get whoever you guys want. But I do got a couple more people in the queue, so more PodKosT coming soon to a channel near you. And that rhymed. So yeah, bye.